Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about Christmas decks. That's right, I have 3 different decks that I'm going to share with you today, 2 of which are tarot decks, and 1 is an oracle. And these are decks that are perfect for this time of year. You know, as of this video coming out, it's officially time to focus on the holiday season, on Christmas, on the winter solstice, and all of those holidays. That's why I'm a huge fan of the whole happy holidays, because yes, people get mad when you don't say Merry Christmas, but the thing about it is there's so much more out there than just Christmas. I'm not going to go out into the list. If you want to find that stuff out, then Google it, look up videos about it. There's tons out there. But what we're going to do today is check out 3 different decks. You've seen this one before. I've shared it before. I absolutely freaking love this deck. It is the Vintage Christmas Tarot. And the Vintage Christmas Tarot, it's my favorite thing about Christmas. Like the idea behind it, the cards behind it. This is like thinking about like Charles Dickens' time of the Christmas Carol. You know, 1840s, back in then, like you didn't have like the entertainment and the things that we have today, but they still had that magic. Like the back of the deck is absolutely gorgeous. The cards themselves, yes, this is one of my favorite decks of all time. And you know, you don't see it unless it's Christmas time, like holiday season, because I don't really share it otherwise. I want it to be special. Now we're going to go through these cards like really quickly, because I'm going to set my like little holiday things over a little bit, because I have more to show you. Like there is the King of Swords, Santa Claus sitting there, 10 of Wands, all the presents and everything. Yes, Christmas can be very overwhelming. The King of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the Lovers. Like all of these cards are just absolutely gorgeous, and it's that time period that I am just obsessed with. Vintage Tarot is also, yeah, it was a little blurry right there. Vintage Tarot is also the Victorian era. You know, I said Charles Dickens' time, and I believe that is around the Gilded Age, which is a fascinating time. You know, they started striking oil, they started finding coal, and they started making money. And that's why all this is so magical, because it was the first time they could really focus on those material things that they couldn't really focus on before. And so the cards like that one, that's the one that I just absolutely fell in love with, that card of choices. But the Tiny Tim right there from Christmas Carol, the star, like just how gorgeous is this deck? There is no like other tarot deck Christmas wise that I love as much as this one. I have another one to show you. I haven't even unboxed it yet. You know, this is kind of an unboxing video, as well as check out Deck the Halls with New Decks. That should be what the video is called. But yeah, the different illustrations here that just show the magic that was Christmas back in the day. And who even says that it has to be back in the day? It could be very much today as well. This magic is still very much alive, very much still there for us to enjoy. Like all of these different illustrations, like they just remind us of how magical this time of year can really be. Now, for a lot of us, myself included, you know, Christmas, the holiday season is kind of somber, sad, I don't know the right word there, melancholy maybe, because, you know, the loss, the missing of the childhood, you know, the loss of my brother, it brings a shadow onto the Christmas season. And these cards, these illustrations, like doing this, it kind of just reminds me that there's magic still out there. You know, no matter how old we get, no matter how our lives go, we see the magic. Oops, dropped that one, the Nine of Swords. It doesn't really look like nightmares there though, does it? She's beautiful. But, you know, there's the people out there that we still need to inspire, still need to be there, like the children that still see the magic in Christmas. So we find that magic ourselves within, and we can make it through it. So we've got the different illustrations. All the kings look like Santa Claus, don't they? And there's the page, the child, the 5 of Wands, a dude fighting with Santa Claus, the 5 of Swords fighting amongst each other. Why are the 5s the halfway points always like the negative cards of the tarot? There is the Ace of Swords, the Death card, and again, beautiful Death card. All of these cards absolutely gorgeous. Now this is by a woman called Hattie Thorne. She lives in England, and that's where I got this deck from. So I will say, if you are falling in love with this deck and you want to purchase a copy for yourself, you might not get it before Christmas, so I do apologize about that. But you know, for next year, when I got this deck, I think I've had it for about 2 years now. I purchased it in January and I got it in like February. And I didn't even touch it. I didn't even open it until July. Because, you know, you have that whole Christmas in July thing for businesses to make more money and stuff. So it was a good excuse to finally get this deck out and share it. So You know, if you even have to wait till next year to start working with it, or if you're just like, I don't care, I love the illustrations and I'm going to work with it every day, it's definitely one that I think is perfect and definitely worth getting it from England, the tariffs and all of that. It's just, there's nothing out there quite like it. Like I said, Vintage Christmas Tarot by Hattie Thorne is the name. There is the back of the box, and it comes in a cute little box, and it comes with a couple extras like a little crystal and things like that when you purchase it. So if that's something you would be interested in doing, to each their own, feel free. Now the next one I'm going to show you, let's go tarot deck to tarot deck instead of mixing in with the oracle so far. And right here is that deck. It is the RWS Christmas Tarot by Matt Green. He is the one that created the Halloween Rider-Waite, and he's also the one that created the playing cards that are tarot cards as well. So very, very talented man. And I saw this one on Etsy. When you purchase from Etsy, like the first time you purchase from them, it's a lot of times you pay full price. And then as soon as you purchase, they'll send you like a coupon to get a deck or get something from them for like a percentage off. And that's how I got this one. So I was like, ooh, take my opportunity and get it. Now he is from America. He's local, not local to me, but he's, it probably would come before Christmas if you ordered it, if it's still available. I did not check that information out when I started making this video, but if it is available, you can totally find that link down in the description below. If not, you'll also find the apology that I couldn't find it. But searching online, there's probably people selling it too if you can't find it directly from the guy that created it. We've got the nice little nick right there in the plastic, and it splits right through the middle, so you can get right into the deck. I'm not sure if the cards themselves are covered in plastic, but we are going to find out, aren't we? That deck is in a perfect little box like that. They're in very similar boxes right there, so they're nice and safe, tucked in their boxes. Let's flip open the tab right here, if I can. There we go. And the cards are not in plastic, so we don't have to sit there and you don't have to watch me do that. Okay, I'm going to set this right here, and we're going to start with that Fool. And come on, isn't this fun? I love this card. There you see, like, even the little dog has his little costume on, and the elf is ready for whatever life throws at him. He's ready to take off, be that fool for life, and go after what he wants. Now, I'm totally wanting a pair of those stockings. Yes, they are perfect for holiday season, correct? And it's just such a fun, whimsical deck. It's like the Halloween one. He took the Rider-Waite Smith, there's the backgrounds, and he made it into a holiday theme. This guy could take Easter things, he could take 4th of July, and make all kinds of different decks that people like me would just eat right up. There is the Magician, the red and the whites and everything and the greens. It's less Christmassy than this one, or less wintry, but still, he's got the robe and everything that's red and green, so that is awesome. The High Priestess has her Boaz and Joaquin towers right there, covered in Christmas lights. Isn't that fun? I saw one back just the other day. There's people in the local town that I'm around most of the time, because I live in the boonies, but you got to go to town to buy things, excuse me. And they actually covered their car in Christmas lights. I thought it was so cool. You're not supposed to do that. I heard it's illegal, but they don't care. They still do it. And it just looks so magical. Just like the High Priestess sitting there in her green robes, and she's got those Christmas lights. Very fun and whimsical card. The Empress looks like Mrs. Santa Claus, doesn't it? Well, yeah, it would be. We'll set them side by side, because there's Mrs. Santa Claus and Mr. Santa Claus. She's got her little glasses, he's got his glasses. So the Emperor is Santa Claus himself, and the Empress is Mrs. Santa Claus. How cool is that? I love it. There is the Hierophants next. That illustration, they should have given him pointy ears or something, so he'd be like the elf. But there's the elves. And he's in his red and green robes. And the red and white up the pillars, it's just so much fun. I'm loving this deck. You can tell the two characters in this illustration are cold. I like that little nod to attention to detail, where they're blue. They've got the blue like body parts and stuff because it's cold. It's snowing. Even Jack Frost right there as the angel. It reminds me of like a really old like cartoon that it was Jack Frost and he fell in love with this girl, and then she met this like soldier, this knight or something, and so she was always in love with Christmas, which is or winter, so that's why he fell in love with her, and it kind of just reminds me of that guy right there. And he's made snowflakes in his hands. So yes, Jack Frost is looking over these lovers, at least that's how I see it. The chariot is next, and there it is. He looks like he's kind of annoyed by all the snow falling as he moves his chariot forward. So that's a really fun. I love these kind of decks because they're the Rider-Waite-Smith. So if you know how to read the Rider-Waite-Smith, you know how to work with it, you know the symbology and everything in it, and you can look at a deck and just you love that whole energy of it, of Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite all the way back 100 plus years ago. You know, this is that same exact deck with the winter take on it. And I think that is just such a cool thing to do because it brings it even more relatable to this time of year, and it's really fun. The next card is the Hermit, and there he's got all the snowfall and everything. He can be Santa Claus too with his robes and everything, so that is really fun. The Wheel of Fortune. There, the Wheel of Fortune has snow too, and it's colored like a candy cane or a peppermint or something. Really fun. I love that. I mean, I can just keep saying I love the illustrations, right? Justice has that naughty or nice sign right there, and you know, that's perfect for Justice because it's like life is unfair. Well, if you're unfair and you're naughty, then life shouldn't be nice to you, right? But if you're nice to others and nice to yourself, you know, then life can be fair and you can get those gifts and everything. So that is a really cute little take it to that card. The Hangman follows Justice, and there is that illustration. He is wrapped up in his Christmas lights with his stockings and everything. So really fun little take there. Death follows the Hanged Man. There is that illustration. The snow and everything still coming down, very candy cane worthy of the flag with the rose and everything on it. So that's really fun. Temperance, I know, I called the death card fun. I do think it's fun actually, because you know, letting go of what no longer serves you finds what does. Temperance has that candy cane right there, and I'm sure their feet are very cold because they're standing there in that cold water. Speaking of cold, if you hear a weird noise in the background, that was my heater kicking on because, you know, cold, and you need that heater, you need that warmth. Ooh, how fun is this devil card with his Santa outfit and everything on with his present, looking so angry. And it's like, yeah, there is that kind of aspect of the whole holiday season is gifts, and they keep us prisoner and everything. But let's not kid ourselves, it's still a blast and still fun, right? And that card is definitely a fun one. The Tower follows the devil because, you know, you had too many presents and stuff and they just took over your house and came crashing down. But the Tower, again, beautiful. There's the North Pole sign, there's Santa Claus, there's the elf or whatever all falling out. So again, Rider-Waite-Smith energy, but Christmas holiday season energy too. The Star has her Santa sweater on, so that one's really fun. The Moon has candy canes and everything with it. Very cold, snowy night, and I feel like that's a perfect time for those wolves and that domesticated dog to howl at the moon, because it's just, that's one thing that is so fantastic about winter and the snow. Oh, there's nothing quite as beautiful to me as when there's a full moon and a complete fresh blanket of snow that has no prints or anything in it yet. The whole world looks like, the whole sky and outside and outdoors looks blue, like this magical blue that only happens at that time. And I love it. It's one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen, and this kind of reminds me of that. And you know, that's one other thing about winter is the fact that it's like the sky is just brighter, the stars and everything just sparkle even more, which honestly kind of sucks a little bit because you don't really want to stay outside very long and stare at it like you would in the summer. But there's some kind of like gases or something, my husband told me once and I forgot, but there's some reason that it's like brighter and clear at winter, and it's just, that's the few things that make winter a little bit better to deal with. The Sun card is right here, and he's a little elf riding his horse, so that is really cute and really fun. Judgment follows the sun. You know, you find that happiness and joy, and then you're like, I'm going to forgive the past. I'm going to learn from it. So there is that, the red and green, the snow, those cold people because they're riding on water and the air is making them cold. So there's that one. You know, you judge yourself fairly, you forgive the past, you learn from it so you can trust your intuition, and then you can find the success of the world. And there is that World card. And this might not be the intention behind it, but immediately, as soon as I saw this illustration, I thought of it. See that hat right there? That hat kind of reminds me of the Fool, which goes into my idea of gestures. Because if you've ever gotten a reading from me, then you've heard, like, I always say the Fool is like the jester in a medieval kingdom. They're not paying him much attention, but he's getting all of their answers, all of the things that they're talking about. So he might be the smartest one in the room. Well, I bring that up because that hat reminds me of that. The astrological correspondence to the world is Saturn. And there is another holiday right around Christmas. It might actually be Christmas. I'm not sure. That is called Saturnalia. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm really bad about pronouncing things. But I read about that, and if I'm correct, then that whole thought process is like the jesters and the cooks and everything and all the employees of the medieval people got to switch places with them for the day. So the rich, wealthy people, the kings and the queens, had to actually be of service to the ones that were of service to them. And so that little nod right there to that connection to Saturn, that just popped into my head, and I think that is so cool if that's actually the case. Okay, we're to the suit of cups right now. There is the Ace of Cups, followed by the Two of Cups, the card of emotionally fulfilling partnerships. Again, the colors, the outfits and everything. Matt Green did such a fantastic job on this deck. The attention there, like the pumpkins and everything, they're frozen now, but they're still celebrating. They don't care. The Four of Cups, there's all those presents being offered, but it's like, I'm tired of the presents and everything. Also, I'm cold, blue face. I love that little nod to detail or attention to detail that everybody is cold. Yeah, it's cold. It's winter, so expect it. But still, just such a fun illustration. Like the presents there, I don't even want to open them because I'm bored and it's uninteresting. The Five of Cups, the card of crying over spilt milk, is next, and there that one is. You've got all the cups falling over. Very much Rider-Waite Smith. But he's got the North Pole right there. He's got the Candy King there. So there's still joy to be found. The Six of Cups, the card of nostalgia, is this illustration right here, and there you can see like still very much that, but they've got scarves on, like she's got a scarf on, so it reminds us it's cold and wintry. Perfect deck for this time of year. Seven of Cups is right there, and he's got his Santa costume on, but he's not actually Santa because he does not have white hair, right? But he's got all those different ones that are always the Rider-Waite Smith choices that are right there. If you want to play or talk about dragons or read about dragons, you can make the choice to read Rebecca Yarris's Fourth Wing books, because right there is the dragon and the castle and everything like that. So make whatever choice feels right to you with that Seven of Cups, but pay attention to the little details of each of one, because that's the seven. So it relates to overcoming obstacles, and the obstacle might be that some of those choices are too good to be true. There is the Eight of Cups. He's walking away from what no longer satisfies him or emotionally serves him, and he's leading himself to that Christmas tree, so that one's really fun. The Nine of Cups, he's in his pajamas, it seems. That 'Twas the Night Before Christmas story. My dad always used to read it to my brother and I when we were little, every single night before Christmas. It's the night before Christmas, which actually is my dad's birthday. So, he got kind of screwed in life, because when your birthday is that close to Christmas, it's really hard to not get Christmas presents until it's your birthday presents. At least they're wrapped up in Christmas presents. As someone that is born 6 days before Christmas, yeah, I can relate to that too, but nowhere near as much as my dad. But the wish card of the tarot, you can make your own wishes come true. You don't have to wait on somebody else to buy those presents for you. 10 of Cups is the card of the happy family, and there is that happy family playing in the snow and enjoying themselves. They don't seem to be all that cold, but their backs are turned, so maybe they are. The Page of Cups is next. There is that one in his red and green coat with his fish. Very fun. It doesn't matter. Even if you're on the beach in the south where it's never getting cold and you never see snow, the Page of Cups says you can still have fun and enjoy yourself. The Knight of Cups is not in that place. He's in a snowy winter wonderland following his heart. The Queen of Cups, she's back at the beach. It's snowing at this beach too, though, so it's probably someplace a little bit more north. But she's there, and she looks very angry as she focuses on her cup there, doesn't she? But it's because it's closed. She's the only member of the suit of the cup suit that actually has an enclosed chalice or enclosed cup. And I think that's because she loves so much focusing on other people's happiness and everything. She can't focus on her own, so she might not even know what her own happiness is. The King of Cups brings up the final card of the suit of emotional happiness and fulfillment, and there he is with his cups. There is the candy boat right there, and he's got his focused on what makes his heart sing and letting it lead him forward. We move forward with the suit of wands. The Ace of Wands is the candy cane wand right there. The Two of Wands has that candy cane too. I think this goes right through it. Oh, and this is so cool. Look how he's got a snow globe instead of the world. I love that. I used to collect snow globes. I think they're really fun. Three of Wands is right there, and he's got his 3 candy canes. Bare feet. Holy crap, that has to be cold, right? Four of Wands is the card of a wedding or celebration, something like that. You know, a strong foundation that you're passionate about. And they have their snowmen as well as them, and their red and white candy canes and everything. That is really fun. Five of Wands, they're all fighting with their candy canes, and they're in the sand, so maybe they're all depressed because no snow, but there's nothing, snow is not that great. It's cold, like the blue people in there. So, appreciate where you are. Focus on what you're passionate about. You can change and transform your life for the better. The Six of Wands, everybody's got a candy cane stick right there. So that's really fun. He's got actual candy canes too. The Seven of Wands, defending your passions by the against the ones that don't believe in your passions or want to stand against you. And if you look closely, he's actually got the elf ears. So that's an elf saying, Santa is real. I don't care what you people think. So that's a really fun illustration. The Eight of Wands is 8 of those wands moving forward, or those candy cane wands moving forward. So again, Rider Waite Smith, but unique Christmas take to it. The Nine of Wands, he looks, that's very Rider Waite Smith, looking over your shoulder, wondering the next shoe's going to fall. But he kind of says, I want to eat one of those wands. And you can't blame him because they look yummy, right? Peppermint, cotton, candy canes. That's the perfect thing this time of year. 10 of Wands, he's carrying way too many of them. He should give it to that other guy and let him eat one, right? So that's a really fun one. Page of Wands, he is in a snowy Egypt with all those pyramids and everything. Or perhaps he's in Antarctica. That would make more sense because I think there's pyramids up there and they're covered in snow. So that one's really fun. Knight of Wands is next. If I can grab it. The cards are fantastic, really good quality. If you constantly bridge them and shuffle them that way and flip the decks, I don't know how to explain it, but the normal way of shuffling, they are going to warp. I can tell by the feeling of them, but all card decks are going to do that because you're bending them constantly. There is the Knight of Wands. The Queen of Wands is right here. She's got her wand, her passionate candy cane stick right there. And then the King of Wands brings up the suit of wands at the end. If I can get him off there. And he's got his one too, and he's looking out to the past. He's the one that's been around the world and has the stories to tell for it. So that's a really fun illustration as well. And then we get to the suit of swords. The suit of swords starts with the Ace of Swords, followed by the Two of Swords. Very cold experience there, but her time by herself there seems to be melting the snow away, doesn't it? The Three of Swords, there's frost and snow on top of the heart, but it doesn't matter. You can focus. When that pain and heartbreak goes away, that mind is clear, you can begin creating something from that pain and heartbreak, and that's why I do love the Three of Swords card. The Four of Swords is the card of rest and reflection. And can you imagine how much money one could save if they did exactly this? Hibernated like an animal and didn't come out till spring. I've wanted to do that so many times over so many years, but we're human. We can't. We spend 8 hours in a bed. We got to wake up because our bladder is going to tell us we have to wake up. So that is a really cool illustration, the code and everything there. I love that. And it kind of reminds me, I wish I could do that. The Five of Swords is the victor or victim card. There is the elf ears again. I love that. I love that. It's such a cute deck. It's so much fun. Six of Swords is right here. The card of leaving behind the stress of the past and finding time of peace and harmony. Beautiful illustration again. You can't see his ears, but he is probably an elf too. The Seven of Swords is the thief card of the tarot. Again, you can't see his ears, but he's a dastardly elf stealing from the other ones there that have made their caravan and parked it right there. The Eight of Swords is right here. And she's actually got a bow around her waist instead of just the ribbons that are holding her in place. But she can still, wiggle a little bit. undo that bow, just pull those two little ribbons right there and be free and free yourself and find the success and wealth that she deserves. The Nine of Swords, the card of lying awake at night, letting those nightmares and worries keep us from, getting a good night's rest, is right here with his red and green bed and his blanket and everything, and he's still depressed. Do you remember, I don't know if you were like this when you were a kid too, but that night before Christmas, the night before Christmas. But that night before Christmas, you couldn't sleep because you were so excited that Santa was going to come. And there is Santa, and he doesn't care. He's just over it. So I know a lot of us are probably feeling this, and I keep telling my husband over and over, I don't want to even celebrate Christmas. I want to pretend it doesn't exist. And yet, contradiction to myself, because here I am like, look how cool this deck is. There is the Page of Swords, followed by the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords. Very, the snow and everything is like the only differences in these, it seems. Except, yeah, there is the King of Swords. He's got his red and green cloak on, so that is really fun. And then we come to the final suits of the court. The minor arcana, the Ace of Pentacles, the Suit of Pentacles, right there with that one. Cold area, but even if it's cold and you can't actually plant anything and nothing can grow right now, it doesn't mean you can't take an idea, put that seed somewhere and start growing it. Yes, that seed of your mind so you can make money with it. The Two of Pentacles, which is astrologically connected to the season of Christmas. It represents the first decan of Capricorn in the connection to astrology and tarot. So definitely, Christmas season is a time of a balance act, is it not? The Three of Pentacles, that one comes up at the first of the year, so you're working towards those goals, you're setting those New Year's resolutions, so that's a very cool illustration with the red and green and the snow and everything. The Four of Pentacles is the third decan of Capricorn before you begin Aquarius season. If you were interested in, that whole Capricorn season, Christmas, and the New Year, all of that, the holiday season. And you have that illustration with the snowman and everything back there, so that's really fun. And then we get to the Five of Pentacles, which is actually the zodiac season of Taurus, so we're not really going to get into that. I just said kind of went off into a rant there, or a ramble, because the Two of Pentacles makes so much sense to me for Christmas. But there is the Five of Pentacles, Tiny Tim and this other guy, their faces are very red, so maybe they've been someplace hot and warm. There is the Six of Pentacles, the sharing is caring card, and the Seven of Pentacles, the card of having patience. Patience is progress and not giving up on the goals, because it's not time to pick those. It's not time to find the fruits of your labor. So he's got a really cool, interesting little outfit on. And then the elf right here is working on those pentacles, so that's a really cool illustration. And there's no snow either, so I guess the snow has stopped. Snow has stopped in this illustration. And then there is the Nine of Pentacles, the card of you've made a name for yourself so you can buy whatever you want card. And there is that illustration. Again, not snowing, but the Christmas trees and everything there are there. And the snow is on the ground and there's still a snail walking across the ground. So he doesn't seem to mind the cold at all. The Ten of Pentacles, the card of generations of family coming together. Yes, that is one thing we do on Christmas, right? We go visit family members that we can, and they give us gifts when we do. And that's one of the things very much part of Christmas. So there is that illustration. The Page of Pentacles, my favorite page because he's so focused on what he wants. And there is that illustration. The Knight of Pentacles, it's actually snowing in this illustration. We haven't seen that in a while in these cards. And there he is. Even though it's snowy and it's cold, he's still working. Even if it's boring and mundane, he's still focused on what he wants to achieve so he can become the wealthy king and queen of his story. And there is the completion of the deck, the Queen and King of Pentacles. The Queen, she is astrologically connected to Christmas as well. She's connected to the last decan of Sagittarius and the first two decans of Capricorn. So there is that illustration with the candy canes and everything. She's definitely someone that can make Christmas great. There is the rabbit too, so that is a really fun illustration. And of course, last but not least, there is the candy canes of the King of Pentacles, the successful man that has made his name for himself. That focused page, that focused knight, and that focused queen has led him to becoming that successful leader. Just like Matt Green, putting all that work and effort into this deck so he could share it with all of us. And something like this, the illustrations might already be there with the Rider-Waite-Smith, but he has put so much effort in everything. He didn't have to do that, and he chose to do it, and I absolutely adore him for it because I think it's so much fun. It's like that Halloween I showed a couple months back that I only share for Halloween. Now, when you if you find me out and about, because I do different festivals and events and stuff, if you find me out and about coming up now, like this month of December, then you are going to see these decks on the table to have your reading from. Please, if you're watching this and you know this now, be careful with my decks because I don't want to have to replace them and I don't want them to be warped. Okay, last but not least, the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. Now, this is the only Christmas oracle I have, so it's going to go on the table too. And also, I will tell you that for the month of December, I'll let you in on a little secret. As of December 1st, these 3 decks that I'm sharing with you now are going to be my daily readings. Like every day you're going to see a different one of these illustrations, a different message from these cards. So if that's something you're interested in, you don't follow me on the socials yet, those links will be in the description below too. And please do, because you can get the inspiration and empowerment you need for no price whatsoever. If you want a reading with any of these decks personally, that will cost you, but feel free to comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website. All of that will be available in the description below. There, I'm holding that up so you can kind of see. Look how pretty those sides are. I love, love, love the sides of these decks. They're incredible. Okay, there is the Frost card, plus the Candle Magic. They're not in order. You can see there, that's 16. That's 2. I've worked with this deck every year since I got it around the holiday season, so it's really fun. There is Light, Wise Men, the Cold Moon, all those cold people in that Rider-Waite-Smith deck, right? The Crone, right here is the Crone. The Bear Medicine. The bear is somebody that hibernates, and probably, I think he only comes out to use the bathroom, perhaps. But I'll read you, the bear is 1, apparently, and it says, "There is no tomorrow without the healing of the past and stillness. You shall find yourself right where you are." So that's what that one says. I'm not going to read you all of them, obviously, because I already went through some of them. There is Wreath, followed by Gratitude, and Mistletoe. Oracle decks, I don't know. I've probably told you this before. I'm not as huge of an Oracle fan as I am the tarot. I love the structure of the tarot, but when it comes to like doing readings and getting a reading from me, you will always have some form of an Oracle deck there because I am just beyond fascinated with the fact that they connect to each other. Like you'll get a reading and you'll get the 4 cards because I do 3 cards like face-to-face readings, usually my most popular one that I do because I do all kinds of different spreads and stuff. But my favorite one is a 3 card. It's present future advice. You've probably seen those on here as well. And I like to do those, and then I'll share what the bottom of the deck says. And then we'll do the oracle card, and we'll finish with a coin, like a tarot coin, and I'll show you the illustration from the deck we're working with. And it's so interesting to me how it all just comes together. This completely other deck that you didn't even know I was going to share with you connects back to the message that the cards originally shared. No, I have no idea how this works or why this works, but I'm just absolutely over the moon about how it does work. So I will always add an oracle deck, and this time of year, yeah, you're totally going to get this one because it'll give you chills. It'll give you chills about how interesting and how connected the cards kind of go. Contemplation, Darkest Hour, Ceremony is right there. Make it a ceremony. Have fun. Do that self-care routine that you need to do. Color or find the poinsettias. Don't let your cats around and they're poisonous. But have the poinsettias and everything to bring beauty into your life. Tune inward so that you can really trust yourself and your inner voice. Believe in reindeer. Leave that reindeer poop outside. Or no, reindeer leave you poop. Leave that food outside for the reindeer as Santa's elves and Santa and the reindeer go past. The forest has the witch on it, so that's really fun because Yule, winter solstice and everything is a very pagan, witchy holiday. Remembering it can lead us to very much success in bringing magic into our lives. And have learned from the squirrels. The squirrel is right there. The squirrel, packs those nuts and acorns and everything, and he's safe. Look at him in his tree because he took that time. Pitter patter, plan ahead, keep your silent path's desire. No eyes or ears shall see you coming, a well-deserved reveal. That's what it says on the bottom of the card. It just kind of reminds you how much squirrels are creepy and fast and weird, and I would not want one as a pet. But it's just magical to me and so awesome. Like how hard they work to get all of those stuff. Prepare for the cold months. Like they're the most dedicated and prepared animals out there, I feel. There is the Yule log, the telling stories card. the dove medicine. She's very, very beautiful with her dove. And you do see like the doves outside. Usually they call them morning doves or rain doves around here, where they're not white. They've got gray and brown on them too. But they'll be standing there in the snow. The cardinal, you know, you see those a lot of the time in the winter too, and in the snow, and it kind of reminds you. The cardinal, I think, is, for one, people see it as a loved one coming to say hi or greeting them, to tell them that they're always still looking over them. And the other thing cardinals do is, they show, like, they remind us that winter's not going to last forever, I think. But cardinals are the state bird for the state of West Virginia, in case you were interested. Ornaments is right there. Ringing the bells is right there. Offerings is right there. Snow, because snow goes hand in hand with Christmas. Stars, because star goes hand in hand with Christmas, right? We either put an angel or star on top of the tree usually. Hearth is right there, because you need that because it's cold. Solstice is right there. Perseverance. Father Christmas, and last but not least, family. And isn't that what the holiday season is all about? Family. That's why a lot of us get so depressed this time of year, is because our family is not exactly the family that we've always had. Like the loss of my brother, that makes Christmas very sad. The loss, you lose somebody, you lose that childhood wonder, and it makes it sad. So the other two tarot decks didn't have a guidebook, but this one definitely does. So there is the guidebook, because oracle decks are not structured, not like the same no matter what you do. And when it comes to the tarot decks, those illustrations connect to the Rider-Waite-Smith. That's very much Rider-Waite-Smith. The vintage Christmas kind of has the Rider-Waite-Smith energy to it, just different. So those are my 3 and only 3 Christmas decks, holiday season decks, and I thought I'd share them with you today, as it's officially time to focus on the holiday season. So as always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want a reading with any of these decks, feel free to comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website. All of that will be in the link in the description below. Where you can purchase these decks for your own collection, if that is an option, will be down in the description below. And if you see me out and about, I've got like one festival for the rest of the year. So if you find me at that festival, then these decks will be here for your enjoyment. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.